as promised, you guys, welcome to another episode of Real Spit. This is where you get hit, bam, with the real spit. Okay, now, as promised, I said I was going to get back to you on why guys ghost. But I don't want this to be a female-heavy episode, so I just want to, first of all, let's address why girls don't ghost, or if they do, why. Guys, I wrote down 10 reasons why guys ghost. But mainly for the guys out there that want to know, oh my God, this is what happens with girls. If a girl ghosts you, it's really, truly simple. She ain't like your ass, all right? She ain't into it, right? You did something, one thing, all it takes usually, to turn a girl off, right? You did something that reminded her of her dad, or something of an ex-boyfriend, or something that was creepy, that she saw into the future, and she was like, oh, hell no. And it's done, and you're done, and there's that. So that's easy. That's easy, right? Girls don't ghost in like, oh, maybe I should. No. But for men, it's a bit more complex. So the guys are going to sit here and nod like, yeah, right? And the girls are going to be like, oh, I had no idea. So take it from me, the man, giving you man insight. Man-like insight is what I'm giving right now. Okay, so you guys want to know why do I like a guy and then he decides to fly, fleance? Okay, so here's a few things. First of all, oftentimes women come into a relationship or desiring a relationship with an agenda. And I'm just going to let you know, there's nothing wrong with that per se. However, it's not really the best game for a guy, especially if he is fickle or on the fence or just trying to tread water to figure things out. But here are a few things. Some of them are quite obvious. Your girlfriend's probably told you this, but then here's the other thing. I'm going to get to a vibrational type of thing that could be very, very beneficial for you. So hang tight. The number one thing that I would have to say, the reason why a guy ghosts you is, let's just keep it real. He's got a side piece, or he's got a main piece, or he's got several pieces all over town, and you just didn't make the cut. That's it. That's just what I'm trying to tell you right now. So it's just like that. So why fight? And I will say this again and again throughout this time. Why fight for somebody who isn't showing up for you? Okay? So it's a sign. It's a blessing. When a guy ghosts you, it is a blessing. Trust me. Okay? Trust me. So the first one is that they probably got something else on the side that's a little bit more interesting. They're somewhere invested in some level, that type of thing. The other thing is this. Again, why invest? Most guys who ghost do not have the emotional maturity to deal with a full-fledged relationship. I'm just going to say it. Guys might not like that, hear that, but the bottom line is they don't know how to either say, hey, look, I'm not interested, or, but how to be, mature in their way of saying, let's just detach, so they disappear. It's just easier for a lot of guys to disappear and not have to deal with the situation. And then hopefully you'll get the point and then you'll just fade into the distance. That's what they're hoping. Right? But some of y'all crazy and you come back out of the distance, out of the woodwork, out of the jungle and be like, why? Hi. I just wanted to know why you didn't, my last 25 text messages you didn't, right? That thing. And that's scary. Alone. You may not see that as scary, but if we replayed the tape and we sat down in the studio and watched you up on the screen, you'd be like, damn, she's crazy. And then we'd be like, yeah, but then hold up a mirror. Okay? Another reason why guys ghost is because they're just not ready to commit. And when earlier I said that you guys come in with an agenda, oftentimes women enter into a relationship or start the dating process with an agenda. You may not want to admit that, but oftentimes, and I can speak from this point as a guy, oftentimes girls come into the agenda saying, I want a man. I want to be in a relationship. I want to be able to fit with all my other friends. I want to be able to do things that couples do, and et cetera, et cetera. And your agenda is tall and it's long and it's strong. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because you're planners. We are planners. You know, people like to do things with an agenda attached to it. There's nothing wrong with it, unless you're dealing with like the typical. And I'm kind of making a parody of the situation, but like a Neanderthal who is just like moment to moment. Oh, here, grab. I'm hungry. Beat the bison. Drag it into the cave and eat it, and you're not thinking about tomorrow. So I know that I'm making a mockery of the situation, but I'm just trying to make it so simple for you to understand. If you go into a relationship with a big plan, it scares guys away, and they can feel it. And so what happens is, and this is really important, this is a very important thing, energetically, what happens is this. A woman might be like, well, I want to be able to have somebody, blah, 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 somebody long term, somebody who's worthy of this, somebody who can meet my parents, somebody who's going to be able to protect and provide for me. All of those are legitimate things. But you put that agenda ahead of the person. Listen to what I'm saying. You put your agenda ahead of the person. So then you might be hanging out with a guy, kicking it. Oh, this is great. Haha. You go to the comedy club. You talk on Zoom. You do this, that, and other. You guys have a good bonding moment. And then you guys kick into overdrive and start this thing like, oh my God. So now we can do this. And then your agenda becomes bigger than the actual person. And energetically what happens is the guy picks up on that. They don't know how to digest the information. Most men, you know what I mean? Because it's like that's a different frequency. That's a different language in a sense. So they don't know how to really say like, you know, man, Cherry came over and she had this, this, and this. And then they just kind of back away because it's like too much for them. So you have to understand, if you put your agenda in front of the person before the person, it energetically pushes men away. I want to have children. That's a bigger agenda than the guy. I want to be able to be in a loving, trusting relationship, as legitimate as that is. And you should always aim for that. But if your agenda is bigger than the person, it often pushes guys away, and they don't even know why they ghosted you. They just don't respond. So watch out for that. A couple other things I want to add right quick is oftentimes, and part of this, almost a subdivision of this, is a lot of girls get really clingy really early. And even if the guy likes you a lot, if you're like if you're just being sucking onto a guy like a tentacle and an octopus, right? You know, or a barnacle on the bottom of a boat, right? Because you like it, it's good. Finally, somebody who gets me, understands, oh, my astrological sign means this, and did you understand? And you start texting them, and you're like, this, that, and other, and Scorpio is this, and your moon is it, and you were born at 352.5 on the east side of the equator, and it's just meant for us to be, right? All of that stuff is kind of like freaky. Even if the guy's sister is like, yeah, wow, that is weird. That's good. And yeah, you send them that text. I know you guys have done this. You sent that text that's about 1.5 miles long, talking about how your sun was rising in the moon of somebody else's sheets on the third day of Jamerculus. I don't know what Jamerculus is, but it's in there somewhere. That's scary to guys. You may think it's cool, and your girlfriends are like, oh my God, you gotta lock it down. But to a guy, that's lunar speak. They don't speak that language. Most men don't speak that language, right? So you're gonna have to convert that into just like, hey, yo, cool, you know, that. So watch out for being too clingy. It can be kind of crazy. Another thing, and I'm just gonna have to say it, a lot of times guys ghost you is because you gave it up too quick, right? You're just like, oh, yeah, he's right. I trust him. He's good. Vibes are good. Blam, the legs open. Ping, ping, ping. It happens. And the guy's like, I guess I feel good. How about you? Huh? Right? And then you just gave it up too soon. Now, I know this is new time, new age. I got to be sensitive with all the stuff that I'm saying. So I am being sensitive. And I'm not saying that you're wrong, bad, ugly, or any kind of other name for deciding to share your body before a societal imprinted time. You're not a bad person for that. You know what I mean? In fact, I kind of would support that than some of the traditional stuff. But you got to be able to measure the man. And if he seems to be the type of person that has a disposable quality to him, and if you give it up too early, then there's that. But the value of that is this. If you gave it up early and he decided to ghost you, at least you got it, you cleaned the slate early. Because let's just say you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to give it up. I'm going to wait 3 days, couple of months, blah, blah, blah. And then you gave it up. Now you invested all that time and he's still the same person. He doesn't change. This is a fallacy many women have. If I don't give it up until a certain time, he's going to feel invested enough. So then he's going to stay around and want to have a relationship with me. That is a fallacy. That doesn't make any sense. It makes sense to some who want to rationalize it. But to men, they're just like, they're going to wait. And if they're the kind of guy that's going to hit it and quit it anyhow, they're going to hit it and quit it in June. Or even if you make them to wait until September. But when September rolls by, they're still going to hit it. They're still going to quit it. And you're going to be gone. So now you guys just both wasted, 3 months of thinking, if I wait, he will stay. It's a fallacy. So at least if you hit it and quit it early, at least you know what the person is made of. And you really can't change that behavior. So some women get attached to, well, you know what? Maybe he's going to change. I have a particular philosophy. It's 99.38% correct. How a relationship begins is often how a relationship ends. So if you see flaws in the beginning, if there's twists and twerks about a person, usually in the beginning, like, waiter, right? Hello, over here. And if you don't like that particular behavior, I don't know if that is going to change so much down the line. Now, sometimes it does. People are like, damn, I didn't even know that about myself. Thank you for pointing it out. And that's not a moment where you say, and that's why I need you so much, to see things like that. That's when you look within and you say, cool, I've learned something. And that's the value of the relationship right there. That could be good. But oftentimes, and just go back, for many of you that have been in significant relationships, go back to the first week or month of that relationship and that first little flaw that you saw, and tell me if that's not how the relationship ended. Tell me if that's not how the relationship ended. Oftentimes it is. So there's that. So you got a little bit more insight, as I promised, about why guys ghost, right? We already know why women ghost. That's pretty much right out there at the top, right? And also, make yourself, just try to be as both men and women. Whatever we're trying to do during this COVID time, during any time, really, the best thing that you can do is be true to who you are and be as authentic as you possibly can be. Be true to who you are. So like if you are the person that you eat corn on the cob and you take your tongue and you lick your eyebrows clean, if that's you, then you be you. Lick your eyebrows with your tongue when you're done eating, so then that person can get a clear preview of who you are in the top of the relationship, instead of trying to find a way out later when you actually decide to reveal that you actually lick your eyebrows, right? Because one day you're going to sit down and you're going to eat that corn on the cob and you're going to have little specks all over your face. And you're going to take your tongue. I wish we had a visual. I don't know. I'm going to see if my people can superimpose a tongue licking my eyebrows, and it's going to come back full circle. But you're going to look good though, right? Because your nails going to be dead, your hair is going to be dead, you're going to look fly. And while that happens, where 99 men are going to run, there's going to be one guy that's going to look at you and be like, it's going to be that Ratatouille moment, right? They're going to be like, that's your guy. So be true to you, be authentic. Always have room to make improvements on who you are, but you want to be who you are. You want to love who you are and bring that to the relationship, so that person can love exactly who you are, right? Now, this is going to set me up for my next episode, which is going to be how to be true to you in the audition room, because it's the same type of principle, really. When you go into the audition room, this is for my actors or wannabe actors or actors. Oftentimes, actors sell themselves out trying to be something that they're not in the audition room, and they don't get the part. So Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about how to give an authentic audition to land the part. There's that. That's my real spit. And I'm going to do this for 28 more days. And you may not see it, but I got hit by a car. My arm hurts a lot, and I'm trying to get through it. But I got 30 days just for you. All right, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow.